and welcome everyone. I hope you are all doing well today. Um, I am going to check to see if I can see any comments. Let me know where you're joining from, if you're joining me live, if you're catching this on replay. Thanks so much for checking this video out. And yay, hi Meg, thanks for commenting just to let me know that we're live and you can hear me. Hi, Amanda. Thank you for joining. Hope you're doing well. I hope you can see your goodies here. So, oh, Heather, hello from South Florida. Thanks for joining. I see a lot of folks who are joining from who also came to see our mystery craft along last weekend. So thanks for all the familiar names. Meg is joining from Michigan. It's probably pretty cold right now, right, Meg, in Michigan? We've been kind of frosty here in Seattle, and I've actually been a little bit under the weather. Hopefully, I don't sound too congested. Amanda's from sunny but chilly SoCal, Southern California. Nice. Awesome. So great to have everybody here. So I don't know if I didn't send out any real advance notice as to what I'll be making tonight and what I'll be using. So everybody is very welcome to craft along with me. I'm sure you might have some things in your craft room that are similar. Don't worry too much about taking notes because this video will be available on replay after we finish streaming. And also for this particular card, I did make one in advance of tonight's live stream. So I'll have a tutorial video as well. So you'll have two options for seeing how to make this card. So just sit back, enjoy yourself, and if you can, craft along with me. I always welcome everybody to craft along. And Meg says, snow and very windy. I can't take the snow anymore. I'm originally from Virginia, and I used to be very hardy. I used to sit outside in the snow and just read a book. Can't do that anymore. It's going to be in the 60s tomorrow. I can't wait. Oh, I love that. And you and me too, Amanda. That's cold for me also. Yay, Terry, you made it. Happy Friday. Thanks for joining. I hope you didn't have to rush. I know you're just joining us from after work. Okay. As folks trickle in a bit, please continue to chat. Let me actually talk a little bit about what I am planning on making tonight. So, last Saturday, I think it was, we hosted a mystery craft along on Stamper Girl's channel, and many of you joined us, and we made, or the idea was we would make bay window cards. And this was the one that I had prepared. Oh my, okay, so if you see bots and inappropriate messages, please feel free to block the user. And so this is the one that I prepared. And I had mentioned that because I was the only one who knew what we were crafting, I had to test my own instructions. So over the course of the week, you've probably seen this card, another bay window, which thank you, Heather, for blocking, which was one test iteration. On the Not Too Shabby Shop, I shared YouTube channel, I shared this bay window card, another test iteration. So every time I tested my instructions, I tried to do it to the T, trying to just do what was written. And as many of you know, I still didn't do a fantastic job because so many people had to recut their pieces. And this was the last card. This one I shared on both my channel and the Cottage Cuts channel. So really, really cute. I hope you're not sick of bay window cards because that's what we're making tonight. But I did want to thank you, Meg. I did wanna change it up a little. So tonight's card is going to be a bay window card, but it is going to, actually be a 5 by 7 bay window. So the all of the cards that I showed earlier are USA 2 in size. And I know Terry mentioned she was going to do a 5 by 7 adaptation, and I told Terry, "Don't tell me your don't tell me your mods. Let's compare notes after tonight's live." And, the other fantastic thing is that my card tonight will be a light up card. I love making interactive cards, and I think light up cards are really super special. And especially for the holidays, I feel like I want to kind of bring out all the stops. And so, adding just this fun little interactive mechanism, I think makes your card all the more special for the holidays. So these if products, if you're not familiar with them, are from Pear Blossom Press, who's in our live chat tonight. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I will try my best to answer, but of course, Amanda from Pear Blossom Press will definitely have all the answers. She has a lot of products in her shop besides, but these are some of the fantastic ones that she sent to me to try out. And I love them because they make light up cards super duper easy, like super easy. And that's because everything is already connected and hi Stamper Girl and ready to go for you. So they are Amanda says laugh out loud, don't worry. They're easy to use. They are really easy, and I'm gonna show you just how easy because I'm doing this live stream, so if you see me make a mistake, you'll know it right away, but it's really fantastic. And as I was saying, there are a couple different, form factors that these come in. So we have these lights here, and this is all, a circuit already complete, comes with the batteries too. You don't have to buy anything extra. And, all the wiring is done for you. You don't have to create the circuit. If you're familiar with Chibitronics, you don't have to make your own circuits. You've got the nice little button that's, where the card recipient would push to turn the light on and off, so you don't have to make your own little battery pocket like you would, with some other, products. And this particular one has 3 lights. So there are 3 lights that are connected to the battery, and that gives you an opportunity to light up 3 different areas on your card. And don't worry because the wires, they're plenty long. So, even on a 5 by 7 card, you're gonna be able to, place those lights where you want them. You can also get this form, which you might it might be a little bit hard to see, but this little yellow area here, that's the light. So the button to push it is here, and what lights up is here. So this is a one light um, setup. And of course, also comes with the batteries, everything included. You're all ready to go. So this one's even easier because everything is like complete in this little board here, circuit board, I guess. And everything is also super thin too. So I was really, really impressed by how small and thin the lights and the wires are. And this part here, the battery holder and the battery, it's pretty much as thin as it can be really because it does have to support the battery, which is a standard battery. So those 2 I was already super familiar with, because Amanda's been putting these, amazing products out for a while now. But this one is relatively new to me. Amanda, maybe you can let us know, like, how, if this is really, really recent or if I've just been missing the boat. But these are halo lights. So what's cool about this is that here's your circuit right here. I'll show it to you on here. So here's your circuit and your battery. Here's the button to turn the light on and off. And then if you can see here, there's a ring with a aperture, and dotted around this ring are the lights. And there are one, two, three, four, five. There's 6 lights all the way around here. So it gives you that halo effect. So hopefully, you'll pop on over. Let me actually share a link to Pear Blossom Press if you are curious to check out any of these products. And what's really cool is you can buy just I think there's different multi-packs. So these are 5 packs. So there's 5 units in each, but I think you can get 2 packs where there's just 2. I would definitely You're gonna love making light up cards once you give this a try and once you see how easy it is. So I would definitely recommend the 5 pack because I could see myself going through them pretty quickly. Um, so then other things that I'm crafting with tonight. So I've got a couple of different stamp sets. These are action stamp sets, which you can see I have some from a variety of different companies, but they're basic. I make so many different interactive cards because I love them. I just always love having something a little bit fun and different that folks can do and interact with. And so these action stamps are really fantastic for that. So the one we're looking for tonight is push here because the mechanism has a button. And so we want whoever gets this card to know that there's something that they can do. Then I've got this that, I bought this, I want to say, maybe like a year and a half ago, and I have yet to craft with it. So I've crafted with the embossing folder, but not with the die set. This is from Paper Discovery, and it's part of the Elegant Room set. It's so old you can't even get it anymore. I looked right before I popped on live, and there are other rooms. I think there's still the powder room or the bathroom set that she has, and it's just really fun to create these different rooms. But I'm making a holiday card tonight, so what I'm going to be using is the Christmas tree out of this set, and maybe we'll decide together what else we want to add. But there's a lot in here to build up sort of an indoor scene. And this embossing folder I love. It's got some really beautiful like a wallpaper floral print. And then on the bottom, it even has some floorboard wood grain detail. It's got your wainscoting, I think, and pillars. It's just so ornate and lovely. But I think I'm gonna definitely use the floorboards. I don't know how much of this I'll use, but I thought that would be another fun one to pull out. For papers, I think I'm gonna be using this paper pad from Echo Park. The card that I recorded a tutorial for, that'll go live on Sunday, and with that one I used more warm tones. So I thought tonight I would go more cool tones and go with some blues. And that's just about it in terms of what I'll be using besides just, paper and basic craft supplies. So let's get started. Okay, so I did prepare this just so that you can see what all pieces we're gonna need. So this is my 5x7 piece here. This one is my 1.5 wide by Terry. It's a really nice embossing folder, and she's got Paper Discovery. I buy it from Craft Stash. I think it's exclusive to Craft Stash, but they do ship to the US, and she has a bunch of different embossing folders that give you like a really nice kind of indoor scene, and that one's landscape. I know for sure she's got a portrait one, because I also have it, and she might actually have a couple. And Amanda, totally agree. The papers are gorgeous, and I can't believe it's taken me till now to dive in. Hi, Renee, welcome. Oh yeah, Gremlins. Yeah, tech is just not always my friend. It hasn't been this week for sure, but I'm glad you made it. So so let me bring this back up. Okay, so we have one piece that's 5 by 7 for anyone who is crafting along. But as I mentioned, don't sweat it if you are not crafting along. I'll have a tutorial, and this video will be on replay. Then from my solid color cardstock, I'm gonna cut a piece to 7 3/8 by 5. And this is 100-pound heavyweight cardstock. This is going to be our card front, so that's why I do want it to be a little bit heavyweight, and you'll also see why we need that in a moment, because I'm actually going to cut into that. Then what I'll do next is I'm going to score at those locations. So I'm scoring on my all-in-one tool here. Okay, so we want to score at 3/8 of an inch. So this is going to be a glue tab, because with the 5 by 7, I can't get that, especially side folding landscape. I can't cut that from a single sheet of paper, but that does afford the opportunity to kind of use some colored cardstock. So that'll be a glue tab that we glue onto our 5 by 7 panel. And then the next score line is at 5/8 of an inch. From there, we have 2 3/8. Then 5 3/8. So the only thing with the all-in-one tool is it's I can measure all the way out this far, but I can't score beyond here. So to get this last score line, I'm just going to turn this around. It's basically just a quarter of an inch from the end, because we cut this piece to um 7 3/8. So you want to, if you're on a wider scoreboard, you would be scoring at 7 1/8. But since I don't have a wide scoreboard, that's another way to get that same score line. Okay, so with this scored, what I want to do is I'll go ahead and start my Amanda, I love the all-in-one tool. Oh, Renee, you've got it too? Yeah, it's super handy. I have that big 12 by 12 scoreboard. All it does is score though. So so I basically don't use it much anymore. Oh, actually I forgot. So the way I like to do my scoring, I do like to fold all of my score lines as mountain folds, but we do have 2 valley folds here. This very last one in the end should be a valley fold, so I'm just going to score that from behind. And then the second score line, the one that was at 5/8, that's going to be a valley fold too. So I'll go ahead and score that from behind as well. And I guess while we're here, what I want to do is I'm gonna miter the glue tab. So that first 3/8 of an inch from the score line down or inwards, just gonna cut a little angle there. And I'll do the same here. And that's just so that we have a neat glue tab when we fold this around. So this is pretty thick. I think I'm gonna have to reinforce these score lines. So who's a fan of light up cards in the chat? And have you made them before? All right. Okay, so yeah, okay. Amanda, yes. Kind of assumed you would be a fan and that you will have made many of them before. Oh, don't be afraid, Meg. You'll see, it's pretty easy. Okay, so that first fold, that's our glue tab. Then the next is going to be a valley fold. So go ahead and start to fold that down. Next is a mountain fold, then another mountain fold, and then that last little section there is a valley fold. All right, and then I'll go ahead and burnish all of these. Oh, a bay window coffee shop scene. Oh, you know what, Terry? You should check out Amanda. She has a because I think she has that's the Simon Says stamp kit, the coffee one, right? Because Amanda has I think she's got a video on a coffee shop that lights up. So that's basically our bay window. So what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna cut the windows open. So I ran through all of my stash to try to find a die that would make for a nice size window. I'm gonna cut an aperture through these 3 panels here. This one, if you're curious, it's from a Spellbinders nested. It's like an A2 nested shape die, and MFT. I think that's what Terry has. I'm not 100%. Amanda, if you want to share the link in chat, please do. So this one happens to measure, if anyone is curious, this is 1 inch wide by 3 7/8 tall. It doesn't give you, okay, that's what I meant, MFT, yep, I was confusing it. It doesn't give you an equal border all the way around, but you know, it's close enough. It's what I have. So I'm rolling with it. And so I am going to tape the die down so that it doesn't move on me as I run it through. But we're going to actually cut out the opening here. So all I'm going to do is try to space it so that it's equal top and bottom, equal left to right. And we'll get that cut. And actually, before I cut this, I'm gonna give myself a little line. I gave myself a pencil mark at the top of the die. And you'll see why I did that in a moment. Okay. So got that cut. And before I move this on down and do some additional cutting, I'm going to actually extend this little tick mark. Now, this little line I drew, it's where the top of the die was. So the pencil mark, as I line up the die going across here, my pencil mark needs to be visible as I line up the die. So I'm just going to use my T-square so that I know I'm getting a perfectly perpendicular line across our other, the two remaining window panels. And so we'll just keep on moving down. And so here, what I'm gonna do is, if you are like me and you're shopping your nested die sets for a rectangle die, you're not gonna find the same height die because those dies tend to all be different sizes. So I'm gonna use the exact same die, but to make the wider window, I'm going to do multiple die cuts. So I'm gonna just start on one end, kind of gauge the same amount of border on the left side here. And then I'm gonna use my pencil mark as a gauge to line up the top of my die, the metal of my die. And gonna tape it down. Just gonna give it a second piece of tape just to really be sure this doesn't move. Okay, now I'm gonna run that through. Okay. So now we have Hi, Mary. Don't worry, just enjoy yourself and watch because this video will be available on replay, but I'll also have a tutorial on this card going up on Sunday, I think. Okay, so then if you ever want to kind of extend the size of any die, really, you can just do some more die cutting and shift your die down a little bit. You should be able to kind of feel it, kind of, lock it in place where here I'll show on the back. So once the die sort of the top, we're looking at this edge and that edge. Once it kind of meets up with a previously cut area, you can almost feel it lock in to that position. So all you want to do is just push your die down a little bit, push it a little ways, feel that it's kind of locked into that position, and then you can tape and then run your die through. This will take a third die cut. So we're gonna end up doing 3 die cuts to get our middle window panel. Oops, I moved. This might be the hardest part of this whole thing, folks. Die cutting this middle window here. Trust me, the lights are not the hard part. Okay, so I think I have that lined up. You can just verify when you look at your cut lines on the die, as long as you can kind of just see the edge of it, then you've got it in the right spot. All right, so we took another chunk out. See, it's nice and flush. So now with this last section, what I'm looking to do is, with this particular die, it ends up being about a quarter of an inch is what I'm looking for in terms of spacing. So I'm wiggling to get it to line up with the previously cut area, and then I'm looking for about a quarter of an inch on that far side there. So that looks about right. Oh, somehow I shifted. It's hard to do this mid-air. There we go. Thanks, Meg. Well, I tried to find, something that would fit, but it's really hard. Rectangle, because rectangles can be just tape the heck out of the tie. Yeah, you're right. With rectangles, it's challenging because the ratio, width to height is different. Squares and circles are all the same. Once you know the diameter you need. But hey, this is a way to get what we need from what we have, right? So. The problem with it's just when I get the one side in place, the other one moves on me. Oops, I didn't get that all the way through. Not a problem. I'll just I'll go ahead and just trim that. If you used to watch my channel early on, I always cut on my mat, but I left a lot of cut marks, obviously, and I'm trying to keep this one pretty. Math language ratios. Yeah, that's so Terry. I'm a math major, so I can't say that I've remembered a lot of my math, but some of it. So this last panel is going to be just like our first one. So super easy peasy, one die cut, and all I'm doing is lining up my die. I still see my pencil mark here. You probably can't see it on camera, but I can see it, and I want to still be able to see it as I line up my die, and then I'm just looking for equal left to right here. And tape that down, and then cut that. And okay, so let's see. Now we have our bay window with actual window openings. All right. So still have all of our folds there, and look at that. We've got a window opening. So oh, you're watching on your phone. Thanks. Terry, well, no wonder we've been on the same wavelength. Hashtag mathcrafters. Woohoo! Thank you, Mary. Okay, so now I got tape all over me here. So I want to also line this with some acetate. So let's see. I did not work out the dimensions for this. So I think I want about 4, I guess I could go 4.5. Yeah, well, let's just do 4.5. So 4.5 tall, and then I'll need individual sections there. Oh, so this little thing, this doodad here, so if you're not familiar with the all-in-one tool, if you flip it this way, it has this like barrier so that you can push against it and score. And if you flip it the other way, then it's flush so that you can cut. And there's Heather, you have this, right? I never use it for stamping, but technically these little magnets here are for a stamping platform, which I'll be honest, I don't even know where mine is anymore because I do not use it. but it does have that ability. Okay, so we are at, hi, Leslie. I wish you could tell me if it's Leslie or Leslie. I'm not sure if there's a way you can let me know. But I'm gonna cut a section for each of these. So this first section measures 1 3/4 wide. So I'm just gonna cut just shy of that. And 1 3/4. So we'll go. Did I say 1 3/4? Yeah, 1 3/4. So I'll go 1 5/8 with an S. Oh, okay, good. With an S. So Leslie, I think. Um, oh, I thought you had it, Heather. Okay, so that should fit. Should be measuring once, cut or measuring twice, cutting once. Okay, the middle section is 3 inches wide, so we'll go just an eighth shorter, or what's it, more narrow. So we'll go 2 7/8 on that, and then 1 5/8 on the last one. If you can't see what I'm doing, it's because I'm cutting acetate. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply this to the back, but I'm gonna try to be a little bit tidy with how I apply this because I'm not gonna end up covering the acetate edges. I think it's just too much work. So what I'll do is actually just to be I'm just gonna be a little bit neat because when you glue, when you have acetate and any sort of glue, you're gonna be able to see a little bit of it. So what I'm gonna try to do is uh be tidy about how I'm applying it. And so we'll just go around all 4 sides of our aperture. So I'm trying to get, and this is what I mean by trying to be tidy, just trying to get that to line up because you're going to be able to see it. It's not the end of the world, it's the inside of the card. But if you've seen me craft, I try to make everything kind of look a little bit more finished, and it would be nice to cut like a little frame on here just to cover all of our acetate ends, but these frames are not super wide, so I think that would be hard for me to do. If you don't have a die that is kind of convenient for this, what you could do is just draw your rectangle and then use a steel ruler and like a craft blade. That would work too. Or if you're like me, use this big box cutter utility blade. I don't know why, but I find that a lot easier than using the dainty little craft knife that I have. I love the way, yeah, this little thing, surprisingly, like, my best purchase ever. I mean, it came as a set of 3 stamping blocks, but I pretty well much only exclusively use it to tear my tape. And the reason is because I just from making mini albums, I don't know if folks pick up on the fact that I always hold my tape from the side because I try not to touch the adhesive at all. When you touch your adhesive, you're kind of making it weaker. And so I've just gotten into that habit, and this helps me to tear without having to kind of touch the actual adhesive parts. So there. Okay, so Heather, you've never used acetate. Really, it's fantastic. You can get it as like transparency film as well. I think sometimes that's more economical. And I just this is just the thin stuff. Like this is not super thick. Look, it can't even stand up. It's like so I would not use this for things like pop-up cards where you need like you want to stand something up in like a 3D box card and you want it to seem like it's floating. This isn't that stuff. This is like, you know, you can kind of hear how flimsy it is. Okay, so now we're just gonna go ahead and get these acetate panels down. I'm gonna take a quick moment and give it a wipe. It's gonna be you'll be able to access it from both sides to wipe it down again if you need, but just clean it up a little bit. Get any oils off of it too. That'll make it. Uh-oh. There we go. Whew. That'll make it stick better. So I love burnishing through acetate because you can really see like the difference. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but you can see the difference between just using your finger and just pushing casually versus when you actually use a bone folder and you give it some good pressure. You can see all of that air getting pushed out, and that's the thing that's going to make this last a little bit longer because air can eventually dry out your acetate, and in some climates that might happen sooner than in other climates. My bone folder, this is an ergonomic bone folder. I think, Leslie, I think it's in my standard list of materials if you open the description box on any of my videos. And it's really fantastic. I really love it because of how wide this edge is. So I love it for that. Oh, good question. Will using the thin acetate compromise the integrity of the card, or will you be backing this for more structure? I won't be backing this. So it, I guess you could, because it's thinner than my cardstock. So if you wanted to use the thicker stuff, you could. But this will definitely help stabilize everything, especially with the aperture cut out of the center. But I think it's going to be okay. Even using the thin stuff, it doesn't feel the card doesn't feel flimsy, if you know what I mean. So, and then structurally it's fine. It's going to hold the I wouldn't leave the aperture open though, because that could snag and then like deform the opening. So just by having the acetate helps structurally keep the card in its shape. You could definitely use the thicker stuff. I just don't feel like I personally think this is okay. But if you only have the thick stuff, I would not go and buy thin stuff just for this. So definitely, use what you got. It's just the thick stuff I find to be more expensive. So I actually don't buy it. I sometimes I cut down plastic packaging, and sometimes like I get the thick acetate in card kits and stuff, and so I covet it because I use the thin stuff for shaker cards, And then it's the thick stuff, I only use that when I really need it to, like, stand up. And box cards are basically where I find I really need that strength. 'Cause this thin stuff, I mean, it can't even hold itself up, much less much less a die cut. So, that is not gonna be good in any sort of pop-up box card. Okay, so that is our front. Here's our 5x7 piece, and this little glue tab here, I'm gonna actually attach to the back. It's gonna go on the back of the card. Um, so I'm gonna put a little bit of glue there. Yeah, I am a frugal crafter, Meg. Upcycle, right? And yeah, Heather, totally. Yeah, the packaging stuff is good for shakers too. The thick stuff is nice for infinity shakers and yeah, invisible arms, exactly. Yep. The anything where you kind of need it to like stand up and not be noticeable. So I'm gonna just use some liquid adhesive on this so that we get a nice firm, long-lasting hold here. And I'm gonna line up my 5x7 panel with the rest of my card here, and I'm gonna go up to up to the score line. I'm not gonna pass it though. And I still want to be able to see my score line. And when I've got it just about where I want it, then you can just close that flap right over. And then any glue that you use, if you give it a nice burnish, it's gonna help it to maximize its adhesive strength and hold. Okay. Then as with your normal bay window, that first little section, this first 1/4 of an inch section, we want to glue that down to the inside of our card. So just this thin little quarter of an inch section here. I want to get some glue onto that and fold that down and give that a good burnish. And I'm holding it like this just in case any glue oozes out. I don't accidentally glue down more than I intend to. So there we go. All right, so then, see, you still have access to the acetate panels, so you can still, if you need, you can still wipe things down. Okay, so we've got the outside of our card done. Oh, that's a good tip. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Terry. Delise has a good tip. If you ever need thicker acetate and you only have the flimsy stuff, tape a few layers together. Yeah, that's true. If you're covering the entire layer with then it'll all look the same and people won't even know. It's just you can just see the difference relative to areas that don't have glue. So if you're applying tape to the whole area, then no one would ever know that it's two pieces put together. So fantastic tip. Okay, so now I am going to start on the inside of my card. So I've got my tree. I did pick out my papers, and I've got my tree, and I've got my my little stopper here. So I am going to use this on my easel stopper, this on the top, and then some wood grain at the bottom. So that is, I think, what we're gonna go with. And let me see if I can let me see how wide of a section I need. So for your pattern paper on the inside, you're gonna need just, well, if I measure precisely, it's 5 and 5/16. So that's what you would need. I'm just gonna cut 5.5 and then I'll trim down to fit. So that's 5.5. Which way? Oh, I want my wood grain to go. Which way does my wood grain go? Huh. Well, I guess the plaid can go in any direction, right? So if these were floorboards, it would go this way, right? The wood grain. Help me out, chat. I think that's how it would look, right? Because even though the hole is up here, so it makes me think that this is horizontal. So this way, Mary? No, wait, this way? So the embossing folder looks like this. So that it the planks of the floorboards they run this way. So I was thinking that means that either way. Oh, second. What is second? Is this one the second? This is wood grain going that way. Long ways. I think that means this way, yeah? Thanks. Okay. So we'll cut ourselves a little bit, cut off a little bit from that. And give myself a pencil mark there. And then I need an 1.5 inches to cover this. This is 1.5 inches wide by, oh, oops, Meg would have done it the other way. I think that just means that it might be okay either way. I hope that's what that means. This is 1.5 by 5. And I'm gonna cover it completely. So I'm gonna cut my pattern paper to 1.5 by 5. Okay, thanks, Melissa. You know, it's totally cool if it doesn't look right after we emboss it. No biggie. I have more paper. I can always recut. All right. So but you know, I'm not gonna emboss. I'm not gonna emboss this pattern though. What do you guys think? Should I emboss the wall? The wall pattern looks great, especially on solid. But this already has a pattern to it, so I'm not so sure I need it. But let me know what you think. You know, this would be cool. I'm not gonna do it because it'll take time, but you could also like do a different strip, like a different color right here where the wainscoting, I think that's what it's called, right? Where that design is, and then a third color up here. But I'm just going to emboss this bottom part. And then we get the flooring. I mean, the wood grain of the pattern paper is nice, but it's super cool to actually have the embossed texture as well. No need with the pattern. Okay, good. Wainscoting, it's fine. You know, you can barely see it. I don't think I have my layers right. I can see it. It's there. Okay. All right. I guess the wood grain didn't really need embossing either, because you can barely see it. Okay, so then what I'm gonna do is going to, what did I say? 5 and 5/16. So what I'll do is tape these two pieces together so that I can work with them as if it was one piece. Oh, I should have taped it on that side. Okay. Ink in the lines of the flooring. Yeah, that would be a good idea. I'm a little conscious of time though, because I don't know how long folks have to hang out with me. A white strip for the wainscoting and a deep wine for the walls. Oh yeah, that would be really pretty. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is a little preview action here. Yeah, because this definitely could use like a like the baseboard, you know. We could be here all day if we really wanted to dress this up. So I'm gonna do a little preview just so that I can see how much of the flooring I want to see, versus how much of the wall. I think I'm gonna chop off quite a bit of flooring because yeah. So I think we want to go with something like that, and then we'll trim it down. And this is going to run the entire height of our card. So in total, this needs to be 5 inches. And then we said 5 and 5/16. So I'll just go around there. All right, so now we've got the back of our indoor scene. And I feel like, what do I want to add? Now that I've said it, now I want to add that a little strip there. Let's see, do I have, maybe how about just a thin little strip, right? Maybe in white. Yeah, okay. I said it, so now I've got to add that little baseboard. All right, let's do this way. Yeah, this is going to be a Christmas card. Our tree is going to light up. 5, and I'll glue it and then just trim it. Look, your favorite glue, Delise. Yeah, you're right, Terry. Just doing a little scoring right on your scoreboard to add that detail works great too. Okay. All right. Just trim off these edges. All right, so we've got our scene, our backdrop for our scene. Now we're getting close to the lights. So I'm gonna take off, let's see. I want the ones that have 3. I'm gonna be able to fit more than 3 lights here, but we're gonna make 3 actually light up. This is how it comes. It's, your circuit boards are connected like this, but that's how they come. You just need to just give it a gentle little snapperoo, and then you can, these are gently wrapped, so you can just tease out the set of lights, and then if you want, you can kind of just gently curl. Just don't put any, like, kinks in your wire or, like, harsh bends because, you just it's super thin stuff. I'm, like, very impressed by how thin this is, and, that's what makes it really great, so your card isn't super duper bulky. And what's fantastic about this particular way to use it is that where we're putting this, I'll give you a little preview. We're putting this over here where we already have to put foam for our easel stopper. So this area has to be a little bit thicker anyways, so it's a perfect spot to hide our battery unit. Speaking of battery unit, I should take the battery out that I'm going to use. So you do get all batteries included, and it's sent to you separately like this so that if it were in there, it would be draining. So you're going to get nice fresh batteries when you get your package. So, and then all you need to do is the flat side will have a plus on it. And then on your battery holder, there will be a plus. So you just need to slide it in. And there's, some metal sort of clamps that really keep it firmly in place. And then before you stick this into your card, give it a little push. Just make sure, I'm sure everything is going to be working, but before you commit it to your project, it doesn't hurt to just do a little double check. And so, let's see, that looks great. A light up tree is going to be so cute. I know, isn't it? That's funny. Okay, so, thank you, Leslie. All right, so here's our Christmas tree, and what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add some ornaments to it, and let me just quickly get this glued down. I know you're probably all excited to see the light up part, but we're pretty much there. Okay, so what I will do is I've already die cut in the paper discovery die set. There are several different things that you can kind of dress up your room and dress up the tree as well. So what I am going to do is I'm going to use some of these ornaments and I'm just going to start gluing them down. I'm going to go with all silver. And if you catch my tutorial that comes out on Sunday, it will, I use gold because I mentioned that's going to be more warm tones. And so I'm going to place more ornaments than will actually light up, but I think that's going to look better ultimately. Because most of the time you're going to be looking at this, it won't be lit up. So you want the tree to still be decorated. And then when they push the little light up mechanism, it's going to be extra special. So this might be too many ornaments. Okay. All right, so let's just start getting glue down on these little itty bitty pieces. You might be wondering, why I'm gluing these down and how this is gonna light up. I'm going to, once I get all of these down, we're gonna pick the 3 ornaments we actually want to light up and poke a hole through them. And I'm actually gonna use my crocodile and punch a hole through it, and that's going to allow the light to come through. So, and I think, um hey, Meg. What are you testing, Meg? We can see your text if that's what you're testing. Um, Amanda, these are I just die cut some foil card. So the die set that I'm using that has the Christmas tree has little dies to cut out the ornaments. So that way since it's just paper, yep, Meg, paper die cuts. Since it's just paper, I'm going to be able to punch a hole right through it, and that's going to allow the light to shine through. And is that one down? So I have a couple more. And I'm probably going to oh, yeah, Amanda, because I had these pre-cut. I actually didn't die cut on camera. That's why. Um, and then when this is on here, what I am thinking is that I'm thinking we light up just the top ones. I feel like those are gonna be most visible. So I'm thinking, and let me know your thoughts, folks, in chat. I'm thinking that one, and that one, so that it's a little zigzaggy, but also uh, more towards the top, so that it's visible. I feel like it's going to be more visible, like up here. So then let me go ahead and prepare this side as you think about that. So Amanda sent me some of this foam from Heavy Doodle. It's 3 millimeters thick, and so it's going to be perfect for housing. It's like the perfect thickness for hiding our battery unit there. And I want the button kind of towards the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a strip across here. So that's going to be my top. My battery, see, it fits perfect like that. It'll be completely covered this way, so by the easel. So I'm going to give myself a pencil mark, and I'm going to continue with foam beneath that so that we've left adequate spacing for our battery. And one more. That should do it. Okay. These, all 3 in the middle. Oh, these ones here. So not that very top one. Okay, so this is my top here, this piece of foam. So what I'm gonna do is transfer where my foam is to my inside card base here. So I gave myself a couple lines. That's where I want my battery to be, so that it is covered like that. And with this, the button, so where you see Pear Blossom Press, that's going to be the bottom because the button is up here on top. So you want that face up. So ultimately, this is going to get placed here. And Amanda can tell me if this is a no-no, but I'm just going to put like a little bit of tape back here to secure it to the card base, because this isn't completely surrounded by foam. It's surrounded by foam on the top and the bottom, and not on the sides. So I gave myself the little lines, and I'm just going to tack that down right there. So that's how that's gonna look. Okay, good. Phew. Thanks, Amanda. I did not want to be prescribing something that is a no-no. Okay, we're gonna leave it. Actually, I could probably put this on now. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, may as well do it now. Okay, let's see if we have decided. Hi, Barbara. Straight down through the center of the trees. No, top, middle, and bottom. I'm getting so many ideas. Okay, I'm gonna bring in my crocodile. We're gonna punch a hole through our ornaments, and that is how light will come through. Okay, so I am thinking I was thinking this one, that one, and that one. Or we could just do the very top 3. So I'm gonna start. Okay. Boop. Hey, my die cut came off. Didn't foresee that happening. I think that's because that's where I put the glue. Whoopsies. It's okay. I put the hole. And oh, I wonder if the other ones are gonna be like that too. Whatever you like, Lynn. Thanks. That one came off too. This is what happens when you just put glue right in the center. Melissa, you foresaw this happening, huh? Yeah, I thought I gave it a good amount of time to dry. I had hoped. It's okay. No biggie. I'm going with this one. There we go. Haha, that one stayed. Okay, so now that we have these decided, I don't want to glue anything down yet. What I want to do is get my scene in place, get my tree centered on the backdrop here, and give myself a little pencil mark right through those holes that I made onto our wall back here. And then I'm gonna use my little pokey tool, and I'm just gonna poke a hole right on those pencil marks. We're done with this. And so we got our 3 holes. Yeah, I'm making it work. Ooh, that one went a little bigger than I needed. And then with our lights, we just want to, from the back side, I'm just gonna feed just the tip of the light through the hole, the 3 holes. And I want to flip it and make sure that the light is actually facing, facing out. And when I have that where I want it, then I'll just go ahead and secure it on the back with some Scotch tape. So there's my light poking through the hole there, and just a little Scotch tape on the back to hold the wiring in place. And you just do that for your next 2 lights. So that one's not quite big enough. Anyone see where my pokey tool went? Oh, here it is. That one probably needs. Okay. You don't need a very big hole because these lights are so super tiny. Okay, so just going to position it. It's a little yellow, the light, so you'll be able to see that you've got it facing the right way. And then secure that. And if you need to double check, you can always push the button. And then we have one more. See, the nice thing is that the circuit is already built for you, so you can really, in your card making, just take your time with all the other aspects of building up your scene and figuring out which ornaments to light up. And you don't have to worry too much about the actual light up mechanism, because look, we're done. It's lighting up. Okay, so what to do with the rest of this? What you can do is just give it, you know how it was packaged in like a soft swirl? So, just give it another little soft swirl. And no harsh bends or anything. And you can just tape it down. I don't like to tape it too close to the edge. Like, I like to give it a little bit of slack so that wherever it needs to go to accommodate, reaching all the way over here, it can go there. So it naturally wants to go in this direction. So I'm just going to give it a nice soft bend like that and tape it down like that, right? And then where those need to go, that they can go as we get this panel in place. And this is so thin. Again, Amanda, you can kind of correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I don't necessarily feel like it needs foam back here. So I'm actually just going to put some liquid adhesive. I'm being careful not to like liquid adhesive over the wires, but I'm not going to actually put any foam back here. I'm going to glue this flat, and liquid adhesive is great because I'm going to need the wiggle room to kind of get this all in place. Like that. Get the wires hidden, nice and tucked in. I am going to burnish, but again, I don't want to make any kinks. And so I'm not going to like super burnish over my over the wires. I just want to burnish where I know there aren't wires underneath. and just push down a little bit where the wires are. Nope, just around the battery. Okay, good, good. I didn't wanna just wanna make sure I'm not putting bad information out there. Okay. Alright, folks, can you see we're close to the finish line? So, ta-da! So there's that. Now we can just put this right over our battery and hide that battery pack. This is like super strong stuff, by the way. This foam tape. It's like super sticky. I can see why you like it, Amanda. But this is like this is really thick stuff. I think I mentioned it. It's 3 millimeters thick. So this piece, this was our 1.5 wide by 5 tall, and it's gonna just get adhered to the right hand edge here. And we've left space for our battery. And give that a good burnish. Now with the tree though, even though the lights are they're pretty darn flat. But I think I'm gonna just use just a little bit of foam. This is my low profile stuff. This is Amanda, if you want to add plastic gems on top. Yep, you already know where I was headed. That's exactly what I was gonna do. um, I am going to add a little bit of foam back here, and as Amanda has suggested, I already have my gemstones here. You're so funny. Oops. It's okay. I think a lot of people probably saw it coming. Um, but yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna I had a little piece of spare acetate. Here it is. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of acetate right behind the holes that we punched. And so let me just do that now. And that way the gems have something to adhere to. I don't want to glue them onto the lights. And so I'm just going to use a dotty tape runner so that it makes its way around the holes. But the thing that the other reason though of why I want to put gemstones here is because I'm gonna put gemstones on all of the ornaments, and that way all of the ornaments look shiny during the day. And when you push the light to light them up, 3 of them will glow, and I'll have that spectacular kind of effect. But I am going to add some of my low profile adhesive just because it gives a little bit of space between the tree and the light, just so that that light has a little bit more space to kind of escape to kind of peek out. Oh, thanks, Meg. You're so sweet. That's very exciting. Yeah, isn't it, Leslie? It's these, but you can see that the actual light up part took me like 2 seconds. It's everything leading up to it. It took a lot longer, isn't it? But that's why the easy lights are great, because then you can really focus your crafting time on other aspects of your card, right? And it kind of makes the light up part a little bit of a no-brainer to put together. So that's why I really like it. So I'm being careful. I'm putting my thin foam, but I'm not covering any of the holes that we punched. And boy, if you all could see, like, from here over, it's a mess over there. I'm just tossing everything over. Okay. So, oh, now to peel all of these off. Okay. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get all of these off. And we're pretty much done. There's some final finishing touches, and I want to add a push here on the side there. I know I'm at like an hour and a half, and so I don't know if folks need to bounce. I'm gonna have to hold this up because it's kind of hard for me to see. But you should be able to kind of peek through, see where your lights are, and just line up your ornament, your holes with that. And being careful not to burnish on top of the lights. Just want to burnish around. Yeah, I should have added a bit of liquid glue. That would make it more permanent and stronger. Surprisingly, I forgot. Meg, why did I not look up earlier to see your comment? Okay, so I am going to figure out. This is cool. I just got it off of Amazon. They're all kind of clear, but they come in different sizes. So I'm going to try to find one that is gonna cover that hole. And see, look how pretty. Oh wait, I'll hold it up in a second. Let's get some of these down just so that you can see. Actually, so if you're ever curious, you can always kind of just put your gem down, and then you can also see like how much light is coming through. So that might be too big. It seems to be blocking too much of the light. So not a problem. We'll just go a little smaller. Glad I previewed it. So pop that in. See? And so you can kind of just see the difference between like the bright light, bare light coming through versus lights coming through with the gem on top. So boy, these are hard to work with. There we go. I keep on pushing. So yeah, these actually do have the foil behind, so they will block a little bit. Let me see if I have one sec. I think I have a different type that's clear all the way, just so that we can see the difference. Let's see. Nope, that has it too. Ooh, I have these. These are blue. Should we put blue in the center? Oh, these have an AB finish. Ooh. Maybe I'll go. Okay, I have clear. So clear, AB, or blue. Not as bright. Yeah, it isn't as bright. And that's because it does have the backing. So as Amanda was saying, if so as you can see, if I turn this over to the back, it's actually it's not clear all the way through because you would see probably like more of my skin. It's actually foil backed. And so because that's um I don't think these are clear either. Yeah, these aren't clear either. All of mine have that foil on the back. But with these, at least I can get them smaller. And so that's going to let more light through the sides. Oh, so pretty. Okay, let's see. I have these in multiple sizes too. Oh, yay. That might be, let's see if I can go with a smaller one even. Yeah, and it kind of depends aesthetically, like how bright, you want it also. These are so tiny, it's hard to work with. But the gems are a really nice way to, oh, does that just scratch right off? I didn't know that. That would be kind of cool. So that's a nice in between because it's a smaller gemstone, so more light is coming around it, is able to come through from behind. So I think I'm gonna go with that small one. So we get a nice. But this is sort of the fun little finishing details that you get to have, because you don't have to fiddle with the actual with the actual light up mechanism. So, and I'm gonna make sure that I get a little gemstone on each of the other ornaments as well, so that they look bright and shiny in the daytime. Now these AB gemstones are kind of cool. I didn't. Alcohol? I don't know. Will alcohol remove it? Oh, acetone will. Okay. These are just so small though. Well, with these ones, there's also adhesive on the back too. So I would have to do a lot of scratching off because it would remove. I need to get through the adhesive layer and through that backing layer. Alrighty. Okay. So hard to see. My lights are kind of bright in here, so it was probably hard to see the gemstones. Yeah, they are tiny. And the with the ornaments that don't have the lights, I put the larger gemstones because it actually matches the size of the hole that I punched through. But with the lights, I put smaller gemstones through. And so let me shut that off. So that is what it looks like lit up. And then when you have your bay window in front of it, it'll look like that through the bay window and the acetate. Pretty cool, huh? And then since it's a bay window, it's nice to kind of leave it on display. And then the button is really easy to access because we put it kind of on this outside edge towards the top too. So the last thing that I would need to add is just like a little push here, uh, so that whoever gets this knows that this actually lights up. So I know that I'm over an hour and a half. I don't know if folks want to hang around for that final touch. Um, but that's essentially though our card complete, and really fun 5 by 7 bay window with actual, you know, acetate windows that actually lights up. So really, really fun for the holidays. I love my husband just said a leg lamp in the window would be fun too. That would be so hilarious. Now I have to now I have to check my stash to see if I can do something like that. Um, because so this set, it has like that little side table. So if I can find a leg and a lampshade, I'd have the table that it can be on. And some other things that I might add to finish this, this also has this little frame with Merry Christmas as a die cut, so I thought that might be nice, to put on the wall as well, because with a card like this, you know, there's not a lot of space for your sentiment, and probably to sign the card, what I would do is I'm gonna add a layer of pattern paper to hide this glue tab, and then put another layer of just a smaller white cardstock where I can actually stamp out like a Christmas verse and then have a spot to sign and write a message. So all of that will go on the back. But I thought that the little, oh yeah, I did have it. So this was the little frame that the die set has. Oh, it's so big. It won't even fit there. Yeah, I might have to find something else. But, um, let's see. So cute with tiny presents in front. Yeah, exactly, and that's the nice thing about, you know, building a scene like this on the inside. You can really go to town with adding, and, you know, this is all still open, so, you know, I can go back in and add presents, I can add, like, a little wall frame, things like that. So, lots of ways to just continue to kind of dress that up. Um, there's an yeah, an SVG. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look. I don't use that function of my brother Scan and Cut or my I have a Cricut too. I'm so bad at using it for things like, finding these nice, cool custom, die cuts. Yes, definitely, Meg. Let me share with you if anybody's interested. So here are some links. So there's the Easy Lights, the foam that I used. The only thing that I was able to find from that Elegant Room set, the embossing folder looks like it's still available. So this die set that I use isn't anymore, but the embossing folder is. So there's a link to that as well. And even though Amanda does sell the lights in, I think you can get it in a 2 pack. I would definitely, I think price per unit, it's you get a better price if you buy it as a 5 pack. So, you know, you saw how easy it was to make. So, I would definitely get the 5 pack. I think there's I think there's also a 20 pack too, right, Amanda? Um, and so if you think you're gonna make a lot of them, then yeah, I think the higher the quantity you go, the better of a per unit price you get on these. But, but it's, so fast and easy to put together. As you saw, the light up portion was kind of the shortest, portion of this whole card. I think die cutting these windows probably probably took longer. Maybe even placing the gems took longer. Um, so what I think I'll do is I'll probably finish the rest of this card, after the live stream because I know it's a Friday evening for folks, and I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight and, crafting with me. Yeah, the teachers and oh, okay. Teachers and Christmas card makers like the bulk packs. Oh, yeah, I could totally see if you're making this is this is a nice one, I think, to if you make in bulk because I feel like it's an easy fun fold, well, except for the aperture cutting, um, but it would be totally fun to make a lot of these for and give them out for the holidays because, um when I make my holiday cards, I'm always trying to get the coveted mantle space, and get my card up there on the mantle. And this is one of those cards I think would give me a good shot at some mantle space. So, um, let's see. Terry, I'm gonna sit down with my notebook and do some planning. Aw, thanks, Terry. Don't worry about measurements and stuff because this video will be available on replay, and then on Sunday, I'll also have a tutorial video, and I do the exact same thing, just in a different with a different die set, so it's slightly different, but it'll have all of the measurements there as well. Thanks so much, Meg. I'm always happy to share and so happy to have so many friendly names, not faces, but names in chat. Thanks for joining me tonight. And I'll finish up this card and get it posted. Um preview. That's how I feel. Mantle space is at it's only so wide. There are only so many cards you can fit, and I always want my card up there. Um but yeah, so I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that if you've never tried a light up card before, that you give it a shot, especially with the Pear Blossom Press Easy Lights, because they make it so that you don't really have to worry and think about the actual light up mechanism, but you can really focus on the rest of your card and put your time and energy into all of the trimmings. So thanks again, everybody, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And take care. Thanks for joining me. Bye.